Today's lesson is 5.4, Special Right Triangles, 30, 60, 90. Our second special right triangle is the 30, 60, 90 degree right triangle. So just like the 45, 45, 90, we found out that there is a ratio between the three sides of my right triangle. Now, this triangle is not an isosceles triangle, so we have a short leg and a long leg. So I've gone ahead and I have labeled my two legs, but I have to go ahead and I have to find my short leg and I have to find my long leg. Um, in a triangle, any triangle, the shortest leg is always opposite the smallest angle. So if you find the smallest angle, which is 30 degrees, and you go opposite it, you always find the short leg. Um, you could also just remember as well that if you make the arc here, the 60 degrees always touches the short leg and the hypotenuse, and the 30 degrees always touches the hypotenuse and the long leg. So this is my short leg, and you can visually see that it is shorter than the other one, and this one is my long leg. I tried to write it as long as possible. And of course, this side right here that does not contain my 90 degrees is my hypotenuse. The ratio goes like this. The short leg is A, so the short leg could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. The long leg is that same number times the square root of 3. A times the square root of 3. So let's say this is 10, then this would be 10 square roots of 3. And my hypotenuse is 2 times A, or 2 times 10, 20. Okay, let's go ahead and take some looks at some problems. And remember, the whole thing, just like last time, is label, 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 label. Okay, label, 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 label. Let me grab my color for my A's, and here we go. All right, so I see that the 60 degrees is there. That means that the 30 is down here. Okay, so I could do one of two things. I could go like this and say, here is my short leg and here is my hypotenuse, or I could grab my 30, go across, here's my short leg. Either way, this is going to be A. So this leg is going to be A times the square root of 3, and my hypotenuse will be 2A. Okay. We're going to do the same thing we did in the last one. We're going to find the side with find the given side with that has a number, and it's right here. So I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to put an equal sign in between. What they are telling me is that A is equal to 7. A is equal to 7. So to find X, I'm going to put 7 times the square root of 3. And we're going to leave it just like that because the square root of 3 is a decimal. For Y, I'm going to do 2 times 7, because 2 times A is Y, which is 14. There's my answers. Okay, label, label, label. Let's take a look at a couple more problems. All right, here's my next one. And this time they gave me the 30 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my 60 degrees right here, which means that the A is right here because my short side is always right there between my 60 and my 90. My long leg is down here between my 30 and my 90 degrees, and my hypotenuse is always 2A. So this time I'm not really paying attention to X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, and 20. I'm paying more attention to what type of sides I have to label. Now I'm going to go and find that 20. There it is. And these two are equal. So what they want me to do is they want me to solve this problem. I can do that. Divide both sides by 2. A equals 10. Now I can go back and I can substitute this in. I'm going to do Y first because it's a lot easier. Y is simply 10 because Y is labeled as A. But this one is X isn't hard either. All I'm going to do is take that A value and replace it with the number 10. That's what this means. So all I'm going to do is say x equals 10 times the square root of 3. I'm not actually going to multiply it unless my Alex assignment asks me to round. But most of the time, they want you to leave it as the square root of 3. All right, let's take a look at this next one. Label, label, label. So my 30 degrees is given. I'm going to add my 60 degrees. All right, between the 60 and the 90 is A, my short leg, which is Y. Between my 30 and my 90 is my long leg, A times the square root of 3. And then the last side is my hypotenuse between my 30 and my 60, 2A. Let's find the number. This time they told me that this side was 12. These two are equal. We have to solve this. So A times the square root of 3 is equal to 12. We want to get A by itself. Remember, there's that multiplication hiding in there, just like it was on the 45, 45, 90. So to get rid of the square root of 3, I'm simply going to divide by the square root of 3. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Just like before, it does not cancel out. So I'm going to do what's called rationalizing the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3. Okay, I multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. On the bottom, in the denominator, since they are both underneath the square root, I can write them as the square root of 9, 3 times 3. I know the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. And I know that 12 divided by 3 is 4. Here is my A value. And now I can go ahead and find my X and my Y. My X is going to be 2 times 4 square roots of 3. I can multiply the 2 times the 4, but I cannot multiply them times the 3 because the 3 is underneath the square root. So I'm going to say 8 square roots of 3. And for y, it's simply just my a value, 4 square roots of 3. Wow, that's probably the toughest one. That's probably the toughest one. And here is our last example for this lesson. We're given the 60 degrees, so let's add the 30 up here. Remember, between my 60 and my 90 degrees is my short leg, A. Between my 30 and my 90 is my long leg, A times the square root of 3. And the third side is my hypotenuse, 2A. Find the side that is given. There it is. These two are equal. All these A values right here and right here are going to be for the square root of 2. So let's go ahead and find X. Oops, that looks like a Y. There we go. That's better. Okay, so it's A square roots of 3. A is 4 square roots of 2 square root of 3. Right? Because remember, I'm plugging in right here my A value. So I have double square root. But that's okay. I know how to take care of that. Remember, I can put them underneath the same square root, which gives me X equals 4 square roots of 6. And for the Y value, I'm going to do 2 times 4 square roots of 2. And we just saw how to take care of this. Since the second 2, this one right here, is underneath our square root, I cannot multiply by this 2. What I can do is 2 times 4, because they are both outside of a square root. 2 times 4 is 8. Square root of 2 is my final answer.